Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. I'm a professional astrologer, and you can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com, and there you can read this forecast. You can also click the live link in the information box right below this video. Today I want to talk about December 2015 for the sign of Virgo or Virgo rising. So I want to start off December. December's pretty decent. It's excellent in the beginning, excellent in the end, and a little snafu in the middle. But it's all good, honestly. It's way easier than what November brought us. And so I want to start with December 4th, because on December 4th we have a lot of energy in fire energy, a lot of fire sign stuff going on here. Venus in Sagittarius trines Jupiter in Leo, the Sun in Sagittarius trines Uranus in Aries, and that almost is a grand trine. They're a little wide, but it's almost a grand trine in fire. This is fantastic for the holidays. You know what? And it is about decorating for parties, and it's about having parties and gathering with people, and the excessiveness that tends to happen when we have parties like this. But also it's overdoing it when we shop. So we're going to shop for amazingly gaudy things. This fire energy, not necessarily Aries, but the Leo and the Sagittarius energies are always a little bit over the top when it comes to doing things. So they like fancy and they like excessive. And Venus is the money that we're spending, and it is how we, what we love and the things we love around us and what we value. So basically, in a nutshell, what I get here is we're going to spend too much, we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have too much fun. But hey, is there ever too much fun? No. Okay, maybe. But keep an eye on it. Do the best you can there, because I don't know if you're gonna, what's overdoing it really, honestly. So have fun with that. Have fun shopping and keep an eye on it. You know, Venus is going to go into Capricorn on December 10th. So once it goes into Capricorn on December 10th, I'll get into that in a second, but it'll slow down the spending. But in the meantime, all of December all the way to the 10th, that Venus in Sag, making the connections that it's making, is going to be a fun time, and we're going to spend a good amount of money. All right. Then on the same day, though, Mars moves into the sign of Aquarius. That just calms things down a little bit. You know, Mars is action, but when it's in Aquarius, it's more about thinking things through and the analytical side of action. It's not necessarily doing yet. That goes on in your solar sixth house, Virgo, and what that means is like it will help you to fine-tune work and focus in on any current health things that you are focusing on. All right, health. Yes, I said health. Virgo, you know that you have, if you don't have things in perfect balance and perfect order, you have stomach issues. So Mars and Aquarius in this point can help you to calm those things down, because you can become a little more logical with it. Not that you aren't already, but it's a whole different type of logic. I want to move on. Mars, nope, we already did Mars. December 5th. Mercury is also in Sagittarius, a fire sign. It makes a trine aspect to Uranus and Aries, also a fire sign. This is, again, this adds to the excitement of the season. People going out, driving here, driving there, looking for that perfect gift, and just all the excitement and movement around. There's a lot of talk involved in this transit. So be careful about your communications as best you can. A trine is easy aspect, so that just means things flow and are more harmonious. But since it's fire, it could be just a little over the top harmonious. You could just be, jabbering up a storm and say something you don't mean. So be cautious of what you're committing to right now, because you're not going to mean it later. You mean it now, but maybe not later. And this is building to the full moon, which is on December 6th. And that full moon is at 14 degrees of Gemini. It is at 7:27 in the morning on the east coast of the United States. And for you, Virgo, that is in your career sector, the 10th house. So this just means that you have a focus there, and the focus is what is going on at work that is taking up too much time, because when the moon is full in a house, it illuminates the things that we typically need to release and let go. So I'm not saying quit your job, but what I am saying is like there is something in the career sector, something when you're out at work that needs to calm down a little bit. Something needs to be released. Something needs to be spoken up about, whether you're going to speak to the boss or the boss will speak to you, or fellow employees. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hey, sorry about that. So if there is something that needs to be communicated in regards to work, then you go ahead and you communicate that, and that way you can let it go and you can get something off your chest. That's a great way to use this full moon. Now, if you can't say something, then you can communicate it through written word, or if you can't do even that, the best you can do is just write something down and burn the paper. All right, so that can help you release things like that. Now, on the 8th of December, we have the Sun and Mercury are conjunct in the sign of Sagittarius. This is your 4th house. That means that there is some communication issues going on at home, because we have the full moon in the 10th, and straight across the chart where the Sun is the 4th house, which is home. All right, so there's something going on, home and family. You know, something. What is that something? You know what? It's just much. We're getting ready for the holidays. It's always a busy time of year. There's always Christmas concerts. There's always just all kinds of things that are going on. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure for you in having enough time between home and career. That's the pressure that you'll be feeling with this. Then on December 10th, as I'd mentioned earlier, Venus moves into the sign of Capricorn. That's in your 5th house, and with it being in there, that will help you too, actually, because the 5th house is an area where we're creative, but it's going to help you to rein that in a little bit. Not that you have to rein creativity in, but if there's any spending going on in regards to decorating and overdoing it, you're going to be able to rein that in a little bit. It's just a natural process that's going to happen with Venus and Capricorn. We're going to want to be more practical and logical about the money that we spend on gifts. And the 5th house is Leo's natural home, so it's all about giving from the heart. So probably an opportunity for you to make gifts and be creative in a very logical and practical way. Give things to people that are practical. Food's always good. Now, on the 12th of December, we have Mercury in Sag still, and it makes a trine aspect to Jupiter in Leo. And on the 14th, the Sun is in Sagittarius, and it makes a trine to Jupiter in Leo. Because, you know, Mercury and the Sun are going neck and neck all month. So they're either one's before the other, and then they conjunct, and then Mercury gets ahead of the Sun because it's a little quicker moving than the Sun from our perspective here on Earth. So when Mercury and the Sun are in a trine aspect to Jupiter, again, this is just more of fun, more travel, more moving around, more going here, going there, and just doing all the things that we do during the holiday season and having not enough time to do everything. And that is what that energy is about. So that's the first half of the month. Now, smack in the middle on December 15th, this one is the Sirius transit of well, there's 2 Sirius transits in December. This is one of them, and it is the 6th square out of 7 from Uranus square Pluto. Started in June 2012. And to be honest, the truth really is that when Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008 is when things started to happen, but we didn't recognize it, and we weren't ready to fight for our freedoms or fight for independence and fight for whatever it is we feel we're fighting for until Uranus got involved in June 2012. This is a global transit. This is a transition that is affecting the globe. It's affecting the vibration of the planet because the people are speaking up for their own independence and their own freedoms. And Uranus had to do that. So we're in the Aquarian age now with this. And so when that happens, it just is all about raising our vibration, raising our awarenesses, raising spirituality, and just bringing things into a whole new place in the world. And when we bring things into a whole new place into the world, the old way of thinking and the old people, the people who are not necessarily old people, but the people who are part of the old system are fighting tooth and nail to hang on to what they have. And this is not the way it's supposed to be anymore. So we're all in just some sort of a challenge and a battle, so to speak, to raise the vibration of the planet and allow the things that are not supposed to be here anymore, or the things that are supposed to change, allow them to to go to the wayside, to decay. That's what that Pluto was about. It's this time of year, even, well, the Scorpio time of year, which is November. But it's all about that releasing and letting go and allowing things to pass on that are supposed to pass on. Now, you say, well, that's a global thing. I know I'm not able to do anything to change a global situation, but in my own personal life, the steps that I take to release things that should not be part of my life anymore, and the things that have left, to let them go. It's not always easy, but, this is how I would do it in my own personal life. I work on my own stuff. I shine my own light where I can. I try to be good and compassionate where I can. I want you to do the same thing. You take your stand where you feel you need to be that rebel, to be the independent, to be the leader, even just in your own life. And when you do it, it ripples out. And that's how we change the vibration of the planet. So we have one more in 2015, in March 2015. So we're at the end of this whole process. So the shifting process in regards to Uranus and Pluto is about complete. But still, in the meantime, work on your own self and bring your own light into the world. And that is the best that we can do, since most of us are not in that top 1% that make all those rules. So let's move on. I want to go to December 16th, so the next day. And just so you know, that Uranus-Pluto square, while it is exact on December 15th, we certainly have been feeling it the whole month, and we've just been feeling it since 2012. It really hasn't let up. It just gets a little more intense when it makes those exact connections, which it did, and it does on December 15th. Next, December 16th, we have Mercury in the sign of Capricorn. Again, it moves into that sign, out of Sag into Capricorn, and that just makes it so we can solidify the conversations we need to have. We can become more serious about the conversations we need to have. It's in your 5th house, again, of where you're creative and where you give from the heart, but it's also in regards to children and just being the creative self-expression that we have about ourselves, whatever that means to you. I'm creative through either my words, my written word, speaking. That to me is creative. And however you are creative, use this energy. And just sit down and write stuff out and just figure out how you want to change something about what's going on in your life, and just get a little more serious and and solidify that a little bit more in the creative things that you do. I want to move on to December 20th. We have Venus in Capricorn square Uranus in Aries, and that in and of itself is a little bit of a challenge. And so really, again, I think to me, just on a real mundane level, this is a financial situation where we're just like, holidays almost here, and I don't have enough money to buy the things I need to buy. It could be very materialistic like that, and very, very simple like that. We also have, on the same day, on December 20th, we have Venus in Capricorn conjunct Pluto. Again, that's your 5th house. The 5th house is the focus for you this month, Virgo. That's because, especially if you have Virgo rising, all of this Capricorn stuff that goes on in your 5th house. And again, that is the focus. I've already said what it means. It's your creative self-expression. It's how you're allowing the world to see you out in the world, and how you create. So Capricorn there, you've always had Capricorn there. That's why Capricorn is in this part of your chart, and we're talking about it today. That just means you've always been logical and practical. And you might say, well, I'm not even creative. And I bet you are saying that, because Capricorn doesn't necessarily feel the creative. But you're creative in building businesses. You're creative in building order. And this is what you do. This is how these transits are affecting your 5th house. It's like by you are setting up order and creating order where it isn't at this point in your life. Then I would talk about the winter solstice. Yule and the new moon are all on the same day. That's all December 21st. The new moon is at 0 degrees of Capricorn. It's at 8:36 p.m. East Coast time. New moon in Capricorn. That means we get to set our new goals. Again, your 5th house. You Virgos, all right? I know, I'll tell you, everybody has it in a certain house this month where the main focus is. And even though it's in a few other places too, the main focus is that 5th house of how you're able to create. And with this new moon here, you're able to set goals, all right? So the new moon at 8:36 p.m. Eastern time is all about you setting new goals and just implementing things, implementing them. How are you going to do and fill in the blank? You know, this is where we take our risks sometimes. But with Capricorn there, we're not willing to take risks. So plan it out. That's what you're going to do with this new moon. This is, again, this is the dark of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's time to just go within and figure out what it is that you want to do, and you want to start your new year, so to speak. Our new year, because the sun starts to grow at this point. Yay. All right, on the 25th, we have Mercury and Pluto conjunct. Again, this is in your 5th house, and when Mercury and Pluto are conjunct, a serious conversation is imminent. So if you have that, if that is the case for you, I want you just to think about it. And if you have something to say, you come at it with love and compassion, so you can have a resolution. You can work through something and solve a situation. That is a way to use this. But if you feel like you're coming from a place of fear and you can't have a conversation with somebody, then I would recommend you don't. Now, that doesn't mean that anybody, you're listening to this, but that doesn't mean that other people in your life are listening to this, and they might bring something up. And if they bring it up through fear, it's going to be difficult. If they bring it up through love and compassion, you can come to some sort of resolution. But either way, all that we have to do is just surround that person in that situation with love and compassion, no matter what is coming at us or what we're presenting out. Okay? And that's the way to work this one the best that we can. Love and compassion. And I know that's on Christmas Day. And it could just be that some people, Scorpio, the Pluto energy at times, I mean, not at times, but it represents the death process, or people who have passed. And it could very well be that we're just, some of us are feeling very sorrowful that family members or loved ones are not with us anymore. People pass throughout the year, and the first holidays without them is always extremely difficult. And this could be the case for some people out there. So I want to leave on a happy note, because that seems like that's sad. But it is life. I want to end on a happy note, and that is on the 31st. The moon is in the sign of Taurus. So what we need to do is be responsible, but eat, drink, and be merry. Happy New Year. Have a great time. Be safe. And I want to say how grateful I am that all of you watch, especially for the last 5 years. Thank you for thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your business, because I am doing my profession and I'm passionate about my profession, and this is part of it. And thank you so much for being there for me and listening. Come find me on the web, nhastrologer.com, and Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. Thank you very much, and blessed be. Have a happy New Year, and namaste. Namaste.